Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoint, and if you didn't know already, I actually shoot all of the videos on this channel with an iPhone. But there have been a few times where it's not easy to use, like trying to get moving shots on my bike or my car, or even those point of view style shots. So I knew I wanted an action camera, but I wasn't sure whether to go for a normal 4K lens or a 360 version. Well, that's where this awesome little camera comes in. This is the Insta360 ONE RS, which combines both a 4K boost lens and a 360 lens into one simple modular design. So today we'll get this unboxed, and I'm going to go through some of the awesome features that it has and how I will be using it on my channel. Right, so let's get this opened up. Okay, so as this is a modular setup, it comes with a few different elements. The first bit is the RS core module. Now this is the brain of the camera. It's got some physical buttons on the top here for both the power and recording. Then there's also a little flap on the side, and this is what hides the USB-C port for charging it, as well as a micro SD card slot. Then around the back we've got a screen. This is where you're able to preview what you're shooting, as well as changing a few settings. And connected to the core module is a 4K boost lens, which is a 16mm equivalent lens. But what's awesome here is just by pulling them apart, it allows you to swap the lens out for another. And the second lens that we've got in the box is a 360 degree 5.7K lens. And this is the lens it gives us those nice 360 shots with, thanks to its dual lens setup. Okay, and this just shows how quick and easy it is to swap the lenses out. Literally pull them apart, choose the other lens that we've got, and then you clip them back together. And it's great that it comes with both of these lenses in the setup, so you can pick and choose depending on the shot that you need. And here's the battery module, and this just clips onto the bottom of the other two parts. Then inside this little box it comes with a mounting bracket, and this is what clips over the entire camera setup, keeping everything secure and in place. It also helps with dissipating heat and soundproofing for better mic audio. Then we've got a lens cap, which is useful for the lens that's not in use, a USB charging cable, and some manuals as well. And that's everything that we get. Okay, let's take a look at the accessories. So there's the selfie stick, and this is what gives us those nice third-person views when shooting 360 shots. And I'll tell you what, this is probably the accessory that I'm most hyped about using. And there's actually two versions of this stick. You've got the short one, as well as this extended edition stick. And this one is absolutely massive, as it goes up to 3 meters in length. And here's a suction cup, ideal for attaching to the car, and a bike mount, which I will be using when I'm out riding later. These are probably the best accessories to pick up right now, although I could probably do with a helmet mount or clip for those point of view shots. Okay, so that's enough about the unboxing and the accessories. Let's see what this little action camera can actually do. So to start with, I'm going to use the 4K boost lens, and I'm going to fit that to my bike using that bike mount. From here we should get some awesome shots when I'm out riding today. Now the boost lens is capable of 4K 60, although today I am shooting at 4K 30, and I am really impressed with just how good this footage looks. This isn't edited or messed with either. This is straight out of the camera and then dropped into my video timeline. But it's not just the image quality that's impressive, it's the wide angle shot that we're getting. As this is a 16mm equivalent lens, it's not super wide or distorted. It's more kind of natural looking. It also means if you want to walk around and get that nice POV shot, you can see your hands, your feet, and pretty much everything that you can see in your vision. Another great feature when using this lens is the active HDR. I believe this is the only action camera with an HDR video mode, and it basically keeps the highlights and the shadows more detailed and vibrant, plus it helps keep the image from looking blown out. So this camera does have an upgraded core and processor over the previous model, and it's rocking something called a flow state stabilisation. So this is basically a built-in stabilisation which gives a gimbal-like stability when moving around, and that's why today's footage looks so smooth and clear as I'm moving. And the fact it's got an in-camera stabilisation means you don't need to do anything in post-editing or use a third-party software. Just film and it's ready to use whenever you need it. Even just walking around makes the footage look so smooth and stutter-free. But it's when you're out running, riding, or doing anything that has extreme vibration is where you'll really notice it most. These shots of me riding my bike look buttery smooth. And I've done similar shots like this on my iPhone before using a mount, but the end result is pretty bad. And the same goes for car shots. Now obviously the pole will move around while you're driving, but the stability of the lens and the footage is incredible. Now this next lens, the 360 module, is probably my favourite out of the two. It's a 5.7K dual lens, and once you've removed the 4K lens and popped this one on, it's good to go. And this gives you a whole different perspective. Not only does it shoot in a 360 mode, but it gives you a shoot first, frame later mindset. That means you don't need to spend time pointing at your subject that you're filming. You just hit record, capture everything around you, and then afterwards in the software you can view and edit. I love this drone-like view that you get when you're using the pole as well. So just stretching my arm out is able to capture a whole different view. Now something I've always wanted to do is fit a 360 camera to the back of the car to give that third-person computer game look. And here it is. This is giving me so many cool ideas for creating footage just on this one camera. being able to drive around and just capture everything around me, then edit afterwards is such a great feature. Now I will go into more detail later about the app, but the fact is you can see a live feed of the camera on your phone. And this is ideal for me because as I'm driving around, I can see what the camera can see without needing to stop and check. Now this view is so good for that third person walking shot. And if you ever wanted to create a third person GTA vibe shot, this is the way to do it. Or if you wanted to create a fake drone-like shot, maybe somewhere where you cannot fly a drone or you don't have one, this is a really cool way of doing it. And on top of this, if you've not noticed already, well, you cannot see the selfie stick. So wherever you're using it and whatever you fitted it to, the stick is practically invisible. The 360 lens hides the selfie stick in the shot as long as the pole is straight in line with the camera. Now not only does this look awesome, but there's no post-editing. You don't need to edit this in software afterwards, and it makes the content that you create appear that you're being followed by a drone. This is definitely hands down my favourite camera and favourite lens to use. Now the 4K boost lens also has a photo mode. It's got a 48 megapixel half-inch sensor, so it takes pretty good images. These aren't going to be as good as a dedicated camera, but it's good enough for taking the odd snap when you're out riding, running or using it. Here are a few shots that I've taken with it over the last week. Now these have been edited exactly the way that I would with any of my normal photos. And you know what? The end result is actually pretty good. As with any camera, you will need lots of natural light to make the most out of it. Now it's got a very small screen on the back here, enough to see what you're filming, and you can edit a few settings on the fly. It's obviously a step up from not having a screen at all, but where this camera really shines is when you use the Insta360 mobile app. This thing is insane. Not only can you see a live feed from the camera, but you can view, control and record from the app. You can also download the footage and edit it straight on your phone. This is ideal for transferring and then sharing it to Instagram or TikTok or anywhere else you need to upload from your phone. And when shooting in 360, you can actually export the content in portrait or landscape. So I can record one single video, then frame it afterwards in either 16:9 or 9:16. And there are some really cool features, templates and modes to pick from. The big one is being able to reframe those 360 shots just by playing the clip back and literally dragging the screen or zooming in and out. This mode is an absolute game changer for creating any content across any platform. And then there's the desktop version as well. So this is one that I've been using since I picked it up. And this is brilliant for those post-editing videos that you need to create, or just for viewing the footage back that you've previously taken. The fact that you can once again reframe the entire shot after it's taken is just insane. Now the footage that you've seen from me today, that has been edited in this software as opposed to the mobile app. I think using this software alone deserves a video of its own. It's so good. But there are some other features worth mentioning about the One RS, including the fact that it's waterproof. So when using it with the mount, it makes it waterproof up to 16 feet. Plus it's rugged, so it will be perfect for using on sand, dirt and water. This will definitely be coming with me on my next holidays for those shots in the sea. It also has a 6K widescreen mode. This will present the footage in a 235:1 aspect ratio for that widescreen viewing. And this gives it a true cinematic look, and I can see this being used for those nice B-roll shots with some awesome music over the top. Oh, and if you're using the original 1R model, you will be pleased to know that the modules are actually interchangeable. So you can use those parts on this new one as well. And that includes the lenses and the battery. So the sound is important, and the One RS does have a triple mic setup built in. That means you're able to capture the sound around you while you're filming. Typically you would expect the sound quality to be terrible when running, riding or driving, but when using the bracket, the wind noise reduction is insanely good. So here's an example of what it sounds like. See what you think to this. As for the battery on the One RS, well, you're looking at around 70 minutes of use. Obviously battery life is dependent on the conditions, heat and capture settings, but over an hour is decent. Charging time is around an hour from flat. But what's great about the battery is you can actually charge and shoot at the same time. This means if you plug a power bank in while you're shooting or riding, you won't lose any downtime and can keep filming. So as you can see, I have been using this over the last few weeks, and I thought I'd get loads of footage before I created today's review. And even the content that I have created so far has really only scratched the surface. I've got some awesome ideas for future car shots, Instagram reels, and even point of view shots for unboxing items on the channel. But if you're looking for an action camera that combines a 4K lens and the option to quickly and easily swap out a 360 lens, this is definitely the one to go for. The twin edition here combines the best of both worlds at the price of one camera from the competition. If you've got any questions at all about this camera, please let me know in the comments. Also, you can click the link below to find out more about the latest Insta360 camera as well as the price. Thanks for watching, please like, sub and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. This has been the One RS, until next time.